I'm going to show you how to build something this week that hands you a custom listing pitch in 10 minutes for every appointment you take. Not a template, not a generic PDF, a pitch built specifically for that house, that seller, that situation. You build it one time, you use it for a very long time. This is Your Daily Real Estate. I'm Tristan. This podcast has now been going on for about 2.5 years. It's a YouTube show as well. So if you want to watch me, go to YouTube. If you just want to listen to me, well, do it on the podcast. But let's get into it. You know why most agents lose listings? It's not the price. It's not commission. It's the way they walk in. You know, you've heard that you have a few seconds to make that impression. I think they're right on. And they sound like every other agent that the seller has already talked to. Same intro. In fact, sometimes they're even using the same comp, the same company to run the comps. Same closing line. Hey, I'll work hard for you, or whatever it is, right? Sellers can smell a canned pitch from a mile away. And I have that personal experience because a seller years ago told me that a similar thing, and it made me change a lot on the back end. I'm like, wait a second, I sound like everybody else? Here was the thing. This one was a for sale by owner. Called them up, like I was calling all for sale by owners at the time. And I did and this isn't even in person. It was over the phone. I did my thing over the phone. And then the seller said something. He said, Tristan, I have a question for you. Because you're not the first caller. You're like, at that point, he had many. And he said, do all real estate agents go to the same school? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you guys all sound the same. You're telling me the same thing. And literally that moment, because I remember where I was sitting and I remember the whole situation. I was like, we all do typically go to the same types of scripts. It's interesting. And then I changed it right there. I got the appointment. I went to the house and we sat there. And I always found that very interesting because I don't want to sound like everybody else. I don't want you to sound like everybody else either. The fact is, most sellers, if they're comparing you to somebody else, especially if you're doing for sale by owners or expireds, they've heard it 3 times this week. So the agent who walks in with a listing that sounds completely different and looks different and you feel different, right? Like you already understand the situation because you want to connect with them. Like the pitch was made for this specific house, not pulled off of the shelf and it's generic. The problem is this. You don't have 4 hours to customize every presentation. I know because we've done this before. I had a brokerage where they would customize all the stuff for the agents. It would take a long time. And most agents are busy. We're not just going on an appointment every month. We're doing so many other things, right? Marketing and calling, prospecting, open houses, doing our own Instagram and Facebook. It gets crowded. So you don't want to spend hours on something like this, at least not hours every time you have to do this. So you do what most agents do. You typically give the same presentation and you wonder why your conversion rate is sitting below what it should be, right? When you know it could be around 70, 80, maybe even higher in the percentage. So here's what I want you to do instead. And I'm telling you, this might be probably the most powerful thing you do as a listing agent in the next month, maybe 2 months, maybe a little longer. All right. I want you to build a Claude project or a ChatGPT project. And if you don't know how to do it, we run the workshop. It's ai.abrillianttribe.com. You can go in there. I think it's one of the mini courses, but we're always teaching on this. Regardless, Claude Project, ChatGPT Project, whatever AI tool you're using, both of them have this feature. It's a project. I don't want you to run a prompt. It's not something that I want you to have to do every single time because prompt, you'll be like, where did I put that prompt? Damn, is this prompt the right thing? Because it's going to go through a process. It's a workspace that remembers everything you teach it. You upload files, once. You write custom instructions once, and every conversation inside that project uses all of it automatically. Stay with me on this one because the next part is where it gets good, but it can also get a little confusing. So you're going to upload 3 things into this project. For now, just 3. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. First, your 3 best listing presentations. Tristan, I don't have 3. I only have 1. Well, you're going to have to borrow 2 more from somebody because the thing is, ChatGPT or Claude or whoever, it needs examples. So I want you to upload yours, maybe your friends, maybe the office's one, even though it's templated. I would love for it to be your new one, maybe an older one. Just do it. Pick the best ones. The actual deck or the script that you use if you can't find the actual deck. Now, if you only have one, good. One good one that's yours is better than 0. Upload that. The system is going to learn how you structure a pitch. It's going to look through page 1, page 2, the progression of this, the hook, your value props, the way you walk through the comps, so have the comps in there, and the way you close. What's that at the end? Second, upload your CMA methodology, whatever that is. If it's 1 page, 2 pages, but not just numbers, the way you explain the comps, and hopefully you have something that explains the comps on like 4 or 5 pages. And if you don't, well, now would be a good time to write it out or to type it out. Why? Because you're working on this for you. You're building this project so that in the future, you only have to spend a few minutes instead of spending every single time 1, 2, or 3 hours. I need, when you upload the comps, I need it to have the way you adjust for different conditions, the pool, the roof age, all these little things if you can. And if you don't know where to start, go to ChatGPT, build one out. I wanted to know the way you handle the seller who thinks their house is worth 10% more than the data says. Your CMA story. You know what helps with this one, at least with us? If you have scripts. Those scripts that you use that you know work, not just random scripts. The ones that have your voice, the ones that sound like you're the one saying these things. I didn't say it wasn't going to take work. It'll take work up front. The narrative that you use to explain these numbers in the situation, that's the key. All right, so remember that. That's number 2. Number 3, upload your objection library. Every objection you ever heard, whether it's about commission or something like, hey, we want to wait until spring, or we have a friend who's an agent, but Tristan, Zillow says it's worth more, or the neighbor sold for $50,000 more. And I want it in your words because I know what you're going to do. You're probably going to go to some coaching organization, download those scripts, upload those. It's a start, but I really would like for it to be yours. And I have mine that I've built over a long period of time. I don't recommend everybody does this, but a hack would be you go to Claude or ChatGPT, you tell it who you are, and you say, hey, write me some objection handlers in my voice that I can read. And then you read through those, tweak them, and now you have something, right? In your words, the way you actually say it on an appointment. And then you write the custom instructions. Now here's the hack for the custom instructions, because every project needs custom instructions. So far you're still with me, I hope. Custom instructions in the project are uploaded so that it knows what the project is and how to handle everything you're uploading. So the biggest hack for this is just have ChatGPT or Claude write the instructions. Now, the instructions for ChatGPT can be a little bit different, and the instructions for Claude can be a little bit different. So my suggestion is when you go into Claude, if you're using Claude, start and say, hey, I'm creating a project for a listing presentation, and I need custom instructions because I'm about to upload objection handlers. I'm about to upload a CMA, some examples, and I'm going to upload a listing presentation. Can you build this out for me? And then it'll say, yeah, I can. And do the same thing with ChatGPT, but it'll have the instructions and then it'll give them to you. Now, if you want to write them out, great. I would suggest you do that because that's exactly what I did. And this is where most people quit. So I don't want you to quit here. If you want to just minimize the instructions and just write them in the way you'd explain it to somebody that you're explaining your business to, that's awesome too, right? Whatever you want. I'm a listing agent in my market. I sell 30 to 40 homes a year. My positioning is this. My average list to sale ratio is 99%, but I try to write the way that I talk. in short sentences, not corporate speak unless that's you. Every presentation to me needs to feel personal, and it needs to feel like it has a connection to the seller. So those are the instructions. That's it. See, easy, easy. So don't overthink that, right? That's going to be your engine. Now, here's how to use it. Every time you get a new listing appointment, you paste in 4 things. And this is after you've got the instructions in the instruction section of the project. You've got now those docs that we said, add those, which was what? The CMA, the listing presentation, and the objections. Well, you've got that. It's all ready to go. Now, when you get a listing appointment, you're going to paste in 4 things. You ready? The property address, whatever you know about the seller, their motivation, and the closest 3 comparables, right? Those things. Then you ask it for a custom presentation. Say, hey, give me a custom presentation based on everything you know here, and a custom objection prep doc based on what you know about the situation. Let me tell that to you again. Add a custom objection prep doc based on what you know about the situation. How easy is that? That's all you're saying. So once you've uploaded those 4 things, or you typed them in, whatever, if you copy pasted it from somewhere, then you ask it for a custom presentation and a custom objection prep doc based on what you know about the situation. 10 minutes, you're done. The output isn't perfect. Now, you're going to edit. You might go through another re-prompting and be like, you're close, not yet. But you're going to get better at this. And I don't want to add more to it, but if you want something that looks like your brand in the project, in the files, you would upload what your logo is, what your colors are, the brand kit, right? But still, most of the time, you're still going to need to tweak a little bit. But now you're starting 70% better. Maybe you're starting 80%, 90%. I mean, we're to the point where we're in the high 90s. I typically just have to tweak a couple of things. And now I'm taking about 15 minutes for something really beautiful instead of going in for an hour, 2 hours, having to wait for somebody else to do it. That's how you have to take a look at this. The presentation then sounds exactly like you, and it's directly connected to the person that you're presenting to. And let me make this point super clear. The reason this works isn't because AI is absolutely amazing, but it is. But it's because you trained it on your specific way of doing your job. And the more you add along who you are, all the instructions and the docs, the more it understands you, the better output it's going to give and the faster it's going to give it. So you've captured your brain in a workspace. This workspace specifically is for the listing, right? The listing presentation and what this looks like, the output. That's why it sounds like you and not ChatGPT. And this is where you start expanding on this, because once the project is done, you can start adding other things to it and say, hey, I saw this other listing presentation that I really like. Can you give me an output like this, but add this little piece to it? And don't forget to stick with my branding, because you've got my brand kit and my logo. Now, I have agents who've set this up just in the last 2 weeks, and they're like, Tristan, this is absolutely insanely amazing. Not only does it sound like me, but it also looks like my brand. Like, it is on point. I mean, I've had agents tell me they used to spend 3 hours preparing for this stuff, and now it's down to 25 minutes and better quality. You know why? Because it's specific to the person that you're talking to. I had somebody show me that the front page of their listing presentation is they're adding images of the local area of wherever they're pitching. So if it's a metro area, if it's on the beach, if it's mountains, like, how crazy is this getting? You have to start at one point. So project. Easy. Project in ChatGPT, project in Claude, give the instructions, upload the files. Hopefully you get to the point where you upload your brand kit, logo, and then you give it those 4 things, and then you let it rip and see what it starts giving you. The whole point of this is just to start using projects so you can create better quality content. So it's about. Anyway, if you found this useful, please let me know. Share this with somebody. If you found any part of this confusing, just reach out to me. I'd love to see you in the AI workshops. We go over this type of stuff, and some of these are pre-recorded, so you'll get these little mini courses as well. So we'll train you how to do this stuff step by step, sharing the screen. Have an awesome day. Thanks for tuning in.